Okay, so we're going to go through a little video on how to update your athlete monitoring calendar with your competitions that you have in your schedule for the year. So I want you all to have a little go at least putting one competition in and send me a message to let me know you've done it, and then I can have a look to see if you've been successful and if everything's working all right from my end on our computers. So we're going to go into athlete monitoring, starting at the home page, where we are going to look for the calendar button, which is the Running Man. So we hit that. That'll take us through to our calendar. We've got our date range there in the middle, and then just up and to the right slightly, where you will see another little Running Man with a plus icon there. If you hit that, that will allow you to add an event or an activity. So we're going to start by picking what the activity is. So we're talking about competitions, but you can also put anything in there from appointments to training sessions, and we obviously put your strength training sessions in there as well, but you could put your sports sessions in if you wish. In fact, that if you feel you want to do that, it can be really helpful for us to see what your schedule looks like for the week, week to week as well. So we're going to pick a competition, a race. I'm going to put a description in of the race. So this is an A race. It's my main competition of the year. It is the Isle of Man Champs. And I'm going to pick the date. So it's going to be on the 25th of May. Okay. Start time, let's say it starts at 10 a.m. and its duration is going to be a minute, because it's the 100 meters, and I'm going to be really slow and run it in a minute. No, you can be quite loose with that, with the duration. Put whatever you think it might be for your time there. Put an RPE, so how hard might it be? So it's my 100 meter race, so it's going to be maximal. I'm not worried about timing zones because I'm not doing any heart rate training or anything for this. And I might put some details. So yeah, it's the Isle of Man Champs. I'm doing the 100 meters. On that day, I might also do some other bits and pieces which I could put in there. If there's any other things that you want to work on, so I'm really working on my starts. Okay, I'm aiming for 12.2 seconds as my time to try and qualify for something or whatever that might be. You can put any sort of details in there that you feel are relevant. Okay. If you've got any files that you might need to attach about the event, you can stick them in there as well. Once you've done that, hit submit, and that effectively puts the event on. So it takes about 30 seconds to put it in. That'll eventually kick you back to the main screen. And it should say successful. If it's stalling like that and it's not going anywhere, just hit the home button and we can have a little check to see that it's gone in. So back on the home. So once you're there, hit your calendar, put the date range that you're looking for. So that's already on May. There's a race that I've already put in where I'm doing hammer and discus on the 18th of May. And there's our event there, which is our race on the 25th of May as well. Working on starts, what you're aiming for, and the details there. That's quite handy. So if you can do that, even just for one event, just to have a go, let me know you've done it. And then if you've got some spare time, where, especially if you're not bogged down with exams and so on and so forth, take about half an hour and see if you can put your race schedule in there. It's really helpful, because we know when your races are, and we know if it's an A race, a B race, or a C race, or competition or match, or whatever sort of sport it is you do, whatever the type of activity it is you do, we can really help plan your strength and conditioning to fit around that, so that we can get you peaking at the right time, working on the right strength qualities at the right parts of the season. So it's super helpful. And we can detail those periods on your calendar as well, so you can see them visually, so you know what sort of strength qualities you might be working on for a particular period. So if you can have a go at that, that'll be really super helpful. The more detail you get in over time, the more used to it you get, then the more, I suppose, eloquent we can be with how we structure your training around your competitions. So if you've got an A event, chances are we're going to factor in a reasonable taper so that you're nice and fresh for that. If it's a B event, it might be important, but not as big as an A event, so you might not do a full taper. You may reduce a little bit of training volume so that you can still perform. But obviously you're not going to completely taper, because if you completely taper for every event you do, you're probably not going to get much training adaptation, because you're always in this state of not really pushing on with your training. Liaison with your coach is really important with this as well, because make sure you've discussed with them what you and your coach feel your A, B and C races are. So if it's a C race or a C event, chances are we're not going to do any taper. You might be using it just to work on something as a training exercise, and we can potentially carry on training as normal with your strength and conditioning programs around those sorts of events. So have a go. Let us know, send us a message once you've done it. I'll have a little look, and hopefully we can start to use this more habitually in the coming months. So thank you very much for listening.